Greetings to all our viewers and good evening to the speakers. Now, during this COVID period, we all are locked down in our homes. We must be feeling very lonely. We all want friends, more friends, and maybe a girlfriend too.
These things might seem like huge things today, but imagine, what about 10 years down the line when you're possibly talking to various officials, trying to maintain your business or start your career?
Talking to people right now might seem like a very casual activity, but years down the line, it becomes a driving force of your careers. This brings us to today's topic, network to net worth.
Today, we are joined by professionals from drastically different fields, but who have one thing in common: the way they build their careers. We are joined by Mr. Sridhar, who is a success coach at Ascentive UAE, Mr. Nitin, who is a managing director at Gopinath Group of Companies, and Ms. Kanchan, who is the additional director general of reporting for All India Radio and Doordarshan News.
Hey, wait, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Gautam Agarwal.
And I'm Kushagra Srivastav, and we'll be moderating today's panel.
So, just before we begin, let me just give a quick idea of how this panel discussion will go for our viewers. We will have each speaker speaking for 5 to 7 minutes to discuss their views on the topic with regards to the profession or fields of the career, followed by a quick Q&A. We then move on to a general question before ending today's panel discussion.
The first person on the panel who's joined us today is Mr. Sridhar. V. Sridhar is a success coach helping entrepreneurs move from where they are to where they want to be. He's a franchisee and trainer at Ascentive UAE and is also the CEO of Accelerate Freight Services. He loves networking, meeting people, and building relationships. His overall career spans 28 years, of which 18 years are as an entrepreneur. He has held various management roles in BNI groups in the Middle East, one of the largest networking forums globally. So, Mr. Sridhar, why don't you introduce yourselves to us?
Yes, thank you to both of you, Gautam and Kushagra, for inviting me to be a speaker here. I think whatever needs to be said, you've already said. Just wanted to share that my whole networking with people and building relationship uh, in a way that I knew how to network started in around 2012 when I joined BNI, and only then did I start slowly learning about how to actually network and build a network. So yes, and as someone who's trained as a professional networker, and I train business owners today how to maximize their returns from networking forums that they attend. So that's what I do now. Yeah.
So, Mr. Sridhar, I believe all of us know what the significance of networking is. However, we would like to personally ask to someone who essentially trains people in building the skill and setting their careers, what does networking mean to you and how has your journey been so far?
Well, my journey has been always one of learning because I consider myself today also as someone who keeps on learning and improving in what I do. And I'm a lifelong learner. As far as networking is concerned, I would say that if I had to phrase it uh, in a in a quote that Dr. Ivan Meisner says, networking is all about farming, farming relationships, cultivating relationships, and it's not about what I would get done for myself. It's all about what I can get done for the others. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sridhar. Mr. Sridhar, would you like to speak on the topic network to net worth?
Certainly, if you would want me to, I would definitely go ahead and speak. And because this is one subject, one topic that I really love, and I've created a passion and love for it over the past few years. So let me start by sharing. I'm not coming up with any prepared speech. I'm just going to be sharing from my heart about my own life experiences on networking, which I think would make more value. So let me start with a proverb that is very famous, which is very dear to me as well, which is an African proverb. It says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with others, which essentially means that build quality relationship with people around you and build a strong network so that your journey and how far you go becomes much easier. So, network and networking is unfortunately a subject which is not taught in schools or colleges. It is, I believe, essential. It's a very essential life skill that if somehow somewhere is included in the curriculum of school going students or college going students would be amazing. Yet it is something that is not taught. Again, it is something that doesn't come naturally to all the people. It takes years for a person to really understand and how to get it right. So I will elaborate more why I say so. When the moment you say network or networking, immediately probably people think of someone in a formal attire attending a event, and all the people in his business card holder that he may or she may have. That is not just network or networking. Network could be all the people that you know and the ones they know you. So it could be your family, it could be friends, it could be your colleagues, it could be suppliers, clients, it could be any person that you have contact with and have an access to. So the only essential thing is you should be knowing them at a basic level and they should be knowing you at a basic level so that you can approach them anytime you want. Now, what happens if you see right from childhood, we have all studied in schools, we have all studied in college, where we've had probably like 50 students, 30 students, or 100 students in a classroom. Yet you will find that there is an inner circle of few students with whom you're really very close, with whom you probably go hang out all the time. And then there is another circle with whom you will just say hi, hello, and maybe once in a while go for a movie or whatever it is. So that's exactly how even in life it works. Uh, the more and more we create a strong bonding and a bigger inner circle, the more it will be really easy for us in our journey in life and in business. So at every stage of life and business, we individually we cannot manage and do get everything accomplished. We always need the expertise of other people around us in order to make our journey easy, and that is only possible by having a strong network. So let me come to this thing about so how do you actually build a strong network, and how do you go about essentially in networking? The moment you are amongst people, the more and more people that you can help achieve their goals, the more and more people that you build relationship with and deepen those relationship, they will look out for you. Think of all the people that you have met in your life. How many people do you remember? If you will see, go back, you will remember very strongly those people who helped you in your life in your dire moments, who were there for you when you needed them most. Those are the top people that will come to your memory immediately, not someone who all the time came to sell you something. So that is exactly when we uh, change the whole scenario. That is exactly what we need to do when we are amongst people. The more and more the people that we meet, we help them, they are going to remember us, and the relationship is going to get strengthened. And if you see that, our network will become not only bigger, and it will also become stronger. So it's really essential. So whoever is watching this video, whether it is college going students, whether it is fresh entrepreneurs, or very experienced business owners, uh, they will all have seen people who are like employees working somewhere in an organization at whatever levels they are, would be really highly successful, possibly successful also. But you will notice that they are moving from home cave to car cave, and from car cave to the office cave, back to the car cave, and then back to the home cave. We are all from ages, we are all cave people. So networking doesn't come naturally to us. So it's very important that we acquire the skill. The good news is this skill can be acquired. This skill can be, we can get trained. So that's the best part of it. So when I joined a networking organization which is more structured around the globe in 2012, it took me really a couple of years or a year and a half to understand how this whole thing works. So let me share with you a personal journey that I had in 2014. I came to a point in life when my business, my life came to a complete standstill. We reached a level where uh, we, myself and my wife, we are thinking, should we, our business that we were running completely went bust. We reached a level where we were thinking of some very, what do you say, decisions that if I had taken, I would not be here. So that level of thought was going on in our mind. Yet the network that I was part of and joined in 2012, those 2 years that I had built, put in all the effort in cultivating relationship there, came to my rescue when I had to turn around my business and grow it again. So they helped me financially, they helped me in terms of helping me getting new clients, and they stood by me in terms of giving me a moral boost. And that is when I really realized the importance of having a strong social capital, not just financial capital. So all those people, all those viewers who are watching this, I would encourage them to focus on building strong relationship, which could be the foundation for a very strong network. And every networking opportunity that they get, not to miss out on it, because every networking opportunity brings along with it an opportunity to either learn something new, meet some new people, expand their network, and even probably um get new business. So, and most importantly, also to be able to help other people. So, A, always take up an opportunity to network whenever you get it. And B, when you go there, always look out, how can I help people there? Because the moment you, for someone goes with an outlook of how can I help people, they will be the ones that will be remembered most, and they will be the ones having the deepest relationship in their network. So I would sign off with that, and sign off again, once again reminding all the viewers about the quote of Dr. Ivan Meisner. Dr. Ivan Meisner is the father of modern networking, and he has said that networking is all about farming and cultivating relationship, and it is not about hunting. It's not me centric, it's we centric. How can we create win-win relationship? Thank you.
Well, Sridhar, that was a very good talk. Last line will be stuck by like almost all our viewers, and they will really love it. You mentioned about networking groups. A lot of people join. A lot of people are part of organizations and networking groups, but yet they're not able to maximize the benefits from it. I believe you have been a part of BNI, which is one of the biggest networking groups worldwide. Do you believe that BNI has contributed in a way where your reach stands today?
Certainly, yes. Now, BNI is a platform that is provided to people, entrepreneurs, to go and network. It's something very, very similar to a gym. How it is used is what makes it, uh, productive or not. So definitely, uh, for that matter, any networking organization or any networking event or group is equally beneficial. It's what we do there makes the difference than uh, you know just the group itself. Adding to that, I would say a couple of other things which are relevant to your question. A, it is very important to set the objective upfront. Why are we joining a group? what is our objective for joining a group? Because if we don't know what our objective is or it is incorrect, we will end up leaving that organization very soon because we will not find what we joined there for. And secondly, our behavioral style. How do we adapt to people? How do we, build strong relationship by honoring other people's behavioral style? So yeah, that's a very important.
Thank you, Mr. Sridhar. Another small thing that I'd like to add on, not really add on, but really say right now, is that when we had opened our podium to the audience to gather some questions for all the speakers, at the time we had thought of only the traditional way of networking. You know, the one you mentioned where you imagine a person in overalls attending meetings and everything. And so the fact that networking can exist everywhere and even in your personal life with the people you least expect was pretty unprecedented as of now. However, when we were asking out questions, like when we were gathering questions, one of the big questions that we got from many people was that since most students right now they're busy with their coursework, their exams, their college and everything, how do you think networking in the traditional sense, since we again didn't know, but how would you feel that networking would benefit these students from a very early age? Like why they should get themselves into this on top of their academics and whatever is going on already?
Great question. Networking is essential at every stage in life, be it a student, be it a fresh entrepreneur who's just graduated and probably getting onto his career, or someone who's starting his own business, or a very experienced entrepreneur or business owner. The reason being, imagine anything you need in life. The first thing you do is you don't always reach out to the yellow pages and look for where you can find. The first thing you do is you probably call someone in your network, a family person or a friend or someone known to you, and say, can you recommend someone to me who would provide this service or who could help me come out of this challenge? So it is important to always have those people around you who can just by the pickup, just by the a phone call away, they can help you sort out that challenge. That is only possible by having a strong network and relationship. As a student, um, once you finish your graduation and you're looking for a career or a job or start something new, the first thing you would do is reach out to your network and say, I have graduated, here is my resume, do you know someone who would be able to acquire me and recruit me? So as much as you would be going online and posting your CV everywhere, the biggest chance of getting a good job is probably through your network. So if you don't have a strong network where you build relationship, the uh, the chances of finding something may be tough. Not I'm not saying impossible. Definitely, the life becomes easier when you have strong relationship and strong network. So network is very important. Networking is very important at every stage in life. It is not something that you can say, okay, fine, now I don't need. It's always required.
Um,
I hope that answered your question.
Thank you. Thanks a lot for that. We also noticed that your Facebook page has something called the 5 a.m. Club. Do you want to tell us a little more about it?
Yes, just to answer that and connect to what Kushagra said a little while back. Currently, the world, the way it is right now, we are going through this COVID-19 issue. Going out and physically meeting people has come to a halt. I will not say come to an end, it has come to a halt. That should not be stopping people from networking or building relationship. So what I have taken a couple of initiative here. I have started. First one is I am on myself organizing 2 networking events every week, bringing business owner entrepreneurs together in an online platform and connecting them and creating opportunities for them. So that is purely a networking session where just people can come in, meet new people, network, exchange their contacts, and expand their network. And the other thing is the 5 a.m. club, which you mentioned. Again, during lockdown, what happens is our schedule, daily schedule, completely goes haywire. The evenings and the nights could be late. We could be watching movies. We could be reading a book. We could be playing games with our family and end up only going to bed around 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and getting up next day in the morning at 7:38. So the whole schedule goes haywire. So what I started was a 5 a.m. club where all those like-minded people who wish to inculcate the habit of getting up early and finishing by say 7 o'clock, get hold of their mornings in a way that it starts with a positive note, with a great energy, so that by 7, 8 o'clock they are done with their exercise, maybe task list, creating task lists, checking emails, finishing off some activities that are going to help them in the long run. So it's a structured way, half an hour in the morning. I facilitate people to start on a note where they can really prosper in the future. So that's the
Thank
initiative.
you, Mr. Sridhar. Well, moving on, we would like to invite Mr. Nitin Agarwal to the panel. Mr. Nitin Agarwal is a managing partner at Gopinath Group of Industries. He has over 25 years of work experience, 20 years post MBA with 11 years of banking product sales experience. In the UAE market, Mr. Nitin has also successfully managed sales, distribution, and acquisition strategy for retail customers for United Arab Bank. So, Mr. Nitin, you're in the field of business, and your definition of networking must be completely different from that of Mr. Sridhar. What does networking mean to you, and how does it pertain to your field of work? How has your experience over the years shaped your opinion of networking, and how has that steered your journey so far?
Well, thank you, Gautam. Me and Mr. Sridhar have been part of the same journey of a networking group called BNI, and we've known each other from BNI. And BNI has been I would say, a formal network. But I would like to take a little spin on the networking theory. One is a formal network, the other is an informal network. Yeah. So if you've been in a college, if you've been in a school, the peon you say good morning to, or the teacher you say good morning to, they are part of your network. There is always something you're able to get done with the people that you know, you've spoken to, you've been kind to, because you know each other, you respect each other. Similarly, BNI is a formal network. Does not mean that everything that we do during a career or during our day-to-day activities is not a network. So when you're in the elevator to your office and there are 10 other people in the elevator and you say good morning to, they become your elevator network. Most of the times people do not reach out to the network they connect to every day. How many of us can say the person we travel in the elevator with every day, we know who they are, what they do? And because we don't know that question is because we didn't reach out to them. That is our lost opportunity of an informal network. Whereas the success is, so basically from my perspective, how I see it is, you should be part of a network and value a network, cultivate a network based on your objective and purpose. For example, for our emotional support system, family becomes our network. Here, when we are working in the UAE, we need a formal and an informal network. A formal network for business and an informal network for emotional support, because most of us do not have the families within the country. When I left my career as a banker and joined business in Gopinath about 5 years back, the first challenge I have in the first 1 or 2 years was credible suppliers, credible, dependable people who I could trust on advice. And that's when I joined BNI. And in the last 3 years, it's helped me tremendously. Not for business, not for growth, but the emotional business support that I've got. So in the BNI network, we have a lawyer, we have a doctor, so in every category of industry. Now, this became my formal network of reaching out. So I believe that, as Sridhar had also put it, uh, network is your social capital, whereas net worth is your financial capital. How you leverage your social capital will define what you generate from your financial capital. And a common idea between both informal and the formal network has to be, are you seeking from them or are you willing to give to them? One popular concept which is used in BNI is giver's gain, which means if you're willing to give someone help, they'll be more than willing to give back to you. Ironically, I've been undergoing a leadership training program of Jack Welch, and he believes in an important theory called the generosity gene. And nowadays we all have time because of lockdown. I was listening to 10 essential learnings from the Gita, the Bhagavad Gita. And one of the key elements there was, again, generosity, giving to the society and the people. So somewhere, whether we go to talk about Bhagavad Gita or we talk about Jack Welch, who's been the most celebrated CEO of the decade and the years that's gone by of GE, the common factor is, if you are generous to help people and give people, people will want to help you. So if you're looking at the network helping you to generate your net worth, first you need to be willing to offer something. For example, we took the example of looking for a job. Now, if you post your resume on a website, that's a network of job seekers, right? Unless and until you post your CV, you cannot get a job, right? So first you are contributing with your CV, your information. Similarly, in every network, it is important for you to assess, why are you part of that network? What do you expect to gain from that network? And what are you in a position to offer to that network for them to give it back to you? So while I had prepared something else for the session, but I have taken the lead and cue from where Mr. Sridhar left and the question you asked, Gautam. So I hope I'm making sense and I'm able to answer the question that you're trying to ask me.
Yes. Is there anything else that you want to add?
Some of the learnings of BNI has been very clear. In any network, there are three most important things. First is the visibility. Do people know you? Then, do they trust you? Because if people know you and they don't trust you, they will not want to do business with you, or they will not want to trust their own referral network to you. So it is very important to create your visibility and credibility, which will eventually lead to the third objective, which is profitability. And that's emphasized time and again in BNI. And I think that is an applicable rule for all kind of networks that you would be part of.
So, like you talk a lot about informal networking and not very formal groups. So, can you give us an anecdote of how networking has helped you not only professionally but personally as well?
See, when you, as Sridhar mentioned in his example of his personal journey from 2012 on, and the issues that he had sometime in his business in 14, I'm sure he had a small group on which he was emotionally dependent on, which is not the formal group of BNI, but becomes the informal emotional support. Because there are always certain things which you cannot share with everybody, but there always somebody with whom you can be transparent, you can be honest, and you trust their judgment and support on that. And that's why I feel like in a marriage, your wife is an informal support to you, because what's going on in your business or your job, she becomes your emotional support. If she stands strongly with you, the journey becomes that much easier.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Nitin. Also, as you may, and I guess everyone may know, we are all in a situation today which has been totally unprecedented. Like, even as recently as 2 months ago, the norm used to be face to face meetings, with various experts saying that online meetings won't build networks but only carry it forward. However, as we have seen, the world has undergone drastic change since the pandemic, and norms are being redefined. So, in a situation like this, what would you feel is the new norm? Like, is the shift to online networking beneficial? Will it become the new norm, or will face-to-face meetings still hold on? And what are your opinions on the same?
Well, in my opinion, um, the ratio of online meeting to offline meeting will go up. With people whom you know, you have dealt with, and you have a trust factor, there, even a phone call can work. Offline will work wonders. There are a lot of meetings where you're part of only to exchange facts, where even your personal physical presence does not matter. So for those, I think people will more and more rely on online platforms. However, the personal one-to-one, the personal body language, I mean, in an online meeting, you can't really read my body language. You can't get the aura of what I'm trying to project, because these are all uh, intangible messages which people communicate by their body language, by their attire. So all those things do play an important role as well. So while if in the past online meetings were like 10%, probably they'll probably go to 40 or 50% now.
Right. Thank you very much. Moving on to the next speaker. We have Ms. Kanchan Prasad Manlos, who is currently working as the Additional Director General for reporting for West Asia in All India Radio and Doordarshan News. She has also worked as Director Reporting in Sri Lanka and has covered the last phase of the LTTE war. She was the only electronic international media to get access to the war zone till the last day of the war. She has had the privilege to work as a Chief Information Officer and the spokesperson for CBI for 2 years and has been awarded by Government of India for her exemplary work during her stint in Sri Lanka. So, Ms. Kanchan Prasad, do you want to add on anything?
Thank you, Kushagra. I'm absolutely happy to be here. And it has been a pleasure listening to Mr. Sridhar and Mr. Nitin Agarwal. And building on whatever they have said, I would like to say that this is indeed a very ironical time that we are talking about social networking at a time when everybody is talking about social distancing. But trust me, whichever way the world returns to, whatever the new normal may be post COVID, networking is here to stay in one form or the other. So, as the speakers before me were talking about it, that networking is something which we often, it's such an often used word. And before the days that we went into quarantine, the term and the social distancing term came into practice. Dinners and parties and meeting each other were the normal norms which used to facilitate networking. But even in post COVID, as I said, whatever the new normal is, networking is here to stay. And the networking thing is continuously expanding, even in the COVID area. And more than ever, we realize that this network has come as a source of strength, even while we are staying quarantined or isolated at our own places. But to say, how are we so connected in a world when everybody is staying isolated at their own places? If I can tell you, and to build on what Mr. Sridhar said, that it is a life skill, I would certainly say it is a very, very important life skill and a soft skill which is not taught in schools and colleges, but it is very, very essential to learn. Now, networking, one can say, starts very, very early in life. As early as Mr. Sridhar says, we were play buddies, we were in school, and later in college. If you see, many of these friends, though we may call them as network friends, they are actually friends and they have stayed on because you have kind of built a relationship with them over the years. So, and networking is just not limited to people, it is also related to organizations. As both the speakers before me, they said they have worked for a company called BNI. So for me, I have worked in many other organizations. So the moment you say, and we have studied in various colleges and institutes, the moment I say, okay, I'm from JNU, somebody said, oh, I'm also from JNU. And that camaraderie helps even if we do not know each other personally. So that is a very, very important point. So people's previous contacts are hugely beneficial, not only when you work, but in your personal lives as well. Sometimes many of these professional contacts merge and become part of your personal network. So in business, as we say, it is not all about who you know. It is very, very important as to how you connect with them and how you network with them. It is not simply about exchanging business cards. Business cards, we get plenty a day. You may forget it. In fact, to tell you very honestly, I have put in 29 years of service and not even once have I had a business card because I genuinely believe that people who want to know me will get to know me whether or not without the business card. And if people who do not want to know me, if they think that I'm not important, even with the business card, it doesn't help. So it is very important to kind of build a relationship with the people whom you want to network. And the most important thing where it comes is listening to other people and taking interest in people with whom you want to connect. So first thing I would advise is whenever you're trying to network, be a good listener. Never ever fake listening because the other people will get to know whether through your body language, which is very important. It's a non-verbal way of communication. So it's very, very important that you are genuinely interested when you are talking to the person whom you want to network with. Make a genuine and an honest conversation, and you should come across, as Mr. Nitin said, that a person whom others can depend on, be a trustworthy person. Make an eye contact while speaking. Now, these are very general things, but it's a very important tip. Smile because that brings energy to the conversation. It also means that you're open to becoming friends. And these are some of the ways of kind of interaction. And while through the interaction, you will also realize that on the way while you're making a genuine conversation, you'll realize whether that person, if you're actually want to network for your business purpose, whether that person is useful or not. And then you decide whether you want to connect with that person because of your business things or just because he is a very nice or a genuine person. But the next very step is people think that once you meet a person, you exchange business cards, it's over. No, the next very important step is to you get on to the follow up. And for the next time, you can just talk to him, not only for work, but just like that. Because every time if you meet people only for work, then it becomes a strain on the relationship. So it's very important that you follow up on these personal contacts and relationship and build a little genuine connection and the connection which comes from heart. And as both the speakers rightly before me, they said that, a single individual can build a very, very effective professional network by utilizing basic communication skill and establishing successful business relationships. So Kushagra, that's all that I had to add. If you have anything to ask me, please do let me know.
Well, thank you very much for that. Um, I believe we have covered almost everything that we really needed to know. However, our viewers, they had submitted some questions which we would like to ask right now. So, as compared to the other speakers, you're working in a
Please.
field which is yes, as compared to the other speakers, you're working in a field which is drastically different from what they are, what they do really. So, one of our viewers was asking, how has your networking method changed over the years as technology has developed? And even your personal methods of networking from when you began to right now, how has it changed along the way and how has it contributed to your growth?
Kushagra, networking does not change. The methods of networking may change, but networking by itself doesn't change. I told you it all depends on the relationship that you build over the years. I'll give you an example. Like I was posted in the northeastern part of India, and it is considered one of the tough postings as far as government of India goes. So while I was posted in the northeast, we I used to go for my evening walks and for my evening play. So there I used to meet the inspector general of the region, and we used to converse and talk. And the 3 years that we both were posted there, we kind of created a bond, and then we went on postings on different ways. Years later, I came back to Doordarshan as the director news, and he was then the commissioner of police in Delhi. And you know, the famous Nirbhaya case happened. And that was the time when people wanted to genuinely know. The entire India had erupted in emotions, and everyone wanted to know as to how, what is the government doing, what is the police doing. Just because I had known the commissioner of police while I was a young officer, you know, it helped to get the right input, right information at the right time. And because Doordarshan is a public service broadcaster, we could give timely and right information, which helped. And this very second, a very recent example I'll give you. It's again, as Mr. Nitin said, you know, the elevator kind of a contact. So the lady who used to help for me, used to cook for me in India, while she got in touch with me recently, and she said that very recently she's lost her husband and she's finding it very difficult during the lockdown to get food, etc., for herself, the dry rations that she wanted. So I got in touch with an old colleague of mine whom I had kind of worked almost 25 years ago, and now he's left the government also. So I got in touch with him because I knew somewhere that he was working with the Delhi government as a volunteer. So I got in touch with him and I told him that, can you please help her? She's in Delhi. This is her phone number. He immediately got in touch with her just because of her old network connection. And he helped her and she got her dry rations and she was immensely happy. And I got the satisfaction that I could help someone through my network, even while sitting in UAE. So that's how the nature of the communication may change, but the network relationship that you build, they do not change, Kushagra.
I had one of the questions. You mentioned a lot about networking doesn't change, but networking methods do. So what networking methods should students, for example, my age college going students, should adopt to at this stage? And what do you think of social media as a networking tool?
Gautam, as students, you know, we really need to be honest and build good buddies, because they are the friends who are there for the rest of your life. Whether you become the CEO or you don't become the CEO, it doesn't matter to them. They will be there in any case. If you need them professionally, they will be there. If you do not need them professionally, only need them emotionally, they will be there. The second question that you asked was, how has social networking or the social networks have helped in increasing this networks? Now, today only I read that Twitter is holding a network session with major speakers, and it was called Quitter. So that was a new word that I heard, and that was quite interesting. So even in times of this, see, Twitter is such a powerful tool, and even if you do not know the person, you can access that person, and that person only has to know that you're in need or in help. Sometimes it works in good ways, sometimes it doesn't work in good ways. But at this time of lockdown, there are people who have become so useful. People I would like to mention like Mr. Bothra, Arun Bothra, who's doing a tremendous work. You know, somebody's child needed camel milk in Maharashtra somewhere, and he in Rajasthan somewhere, and he's sitting in Orissa. He kind of helped out because she was trying to reach out to people, and he read the message somewhere, and he helped. So now this woman will never forget Mr. Bothra's help.
Mhm.
You see how people network. So you have to use the tool imaginatively and for the public good and for the larger good, and you'll always be successful.
Thanks a lot, Ms. Kanchan. That has answered, that was a really good answer and it was really informative. Does any of the other speakers have any other questions?
I would only like to add on to what Ms. Kanchan said. Social network is more of a means of communication.
Mhm.
It's about keeping your network alive. I mean, the first Zoom meeting I had was with my MBA college buddies, whom we have not met for the last 20 years. The first Zoom meeting was with them. We were all excited to see each other. But very few of us will talk to random strangers unless we know they're established people. Yeah. The case which Ms. Kanchan mentioned about somebody helping a person in need, that's the generosity part of people's givers gain. Yeah. So acts of kindness, social media is a great tool. But to develop a network, you still need to talk to people. You know, the irony of the current generation or situation is we are more happy talking to somebody on Facebook or on Twitter than spending more time of memories with people sitting next to us. So I would say, very interestingly, very recently in December, I had a 25-year reunion with the people of my school. So I studied in a boarding school and we had a 25-year reunion. Believe you me, all the conversation was with the classes we had bunked, the sessions we had organized, the midterms we had gone to. Not a single one of us discussed who you are, where you are, and what are you doing today. Those were all irrelevant conversations. It was the memories and the moments we had lived together, which we cherished together 25 years later. Yeah. So build memories, because that's what you're going to share on social media tomorrow.
Very well said.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. In fact, to add on to what you're saying, that the best networking comes from genuine relationship, not a business card exchange. No matter whom you're trying to build a relationship with, treat that person as a friend rather than a business contact, and that will further your relationship. Yes, we need to talk, certainly, and think about how you would approach a potential friend. Find something which you have common with. Keep it light. Make it easy. Joke around. Show that you care. Don't get into that networking game. Connect to make contacts. Connect to make contacts, but to make friends, not just business contacts.
Mr. Sridhar, do you want to add anything to this?
Actually, not much. I think both the eminent speakers along with me have added a lot of important points. Only that if you broadly categorize, there are two types of people in the world. One who are highly transactional. They only know about how to sell, me. And then others who are always relational, which is they go about helping people, building relationship. When they talk a lot and immediately become friends with people. So the irony is the people who are transactional find it tough building relationship, and the people who are relational find it tough bringing business talk, and they feel like they are using their contacts if they have to ask for help. So the irony is, broadly, these are the two types of people in the world. A very small segment of people know the right balance, how to build strong relationship and seek out help if they need at any time, and because they have been helping them all the time and building strong relationship. So there is a very small segment who know really how to balance it out. So I would just say that building relationship is like dropping some money in your bank account. You cannot withdraw from an empty bank account. So the day you need something, a help, a favor, you can only withdraw from that bank account if you had deposited something in it. So don't think about when or what help you need. Just go about dropping those coins in the bank account, building those relationships, because there could be a point in time where you're driven to ask for help. You'll be able to strongly go to those people and only those people whom you have helped a lot. So a very clear metaphor of keep dropping those coins in the piggy bank. The day you need, you can open and withdraw, if at all you need. If you have not been dropping those coins, you cannot withdraw from an empty bank account.
Absolutely. That's what Paulo Coelho says. Make a favor bank.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Sridhar, you just mentioned that there are two kinds of people, one who are always me, and the other who give it to others. Don't you feel both of these kind of people are important for your network? For someone to have a good network, don't you feel both of these kind of people should be there?
Well, if both are there and do not understand the balance, they will be only both of them hanging around similar type of people. So that's why I mentioned that it is very important to know the balance, when to really, end of the day, the me will keep on moving from network to network because they will find that their objective is not being met. It's only the people who are able to keep on dropping those coins in the piggy bank, like building relationship, can will be there. And the only thing is the skill that they need to know is not feel shy in asking for help when they need. That's one big challenge as entrepreneurs people face, is they think they can solve all the problems themselves. No, if you have built a strong relationship and you have people of varied skills in your network, reach out to them and seek help so that your life and your journey and your achieving your goals become much easier. That's where the African proverb comes in of, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with others.
We'll definitely keep that proverb in mind.
That was truly informative, Mr. Sridhar. And with that being said, we'd like to now sign off. If anyone in the audience wants to ask anything or add on anything to this discussion, or even just give normal feedback, you can hit us up on our website, catchups.today. You can also follow us on our Instagram at catch.ups and on Facebook and YouTube with the same name. And we hope to see you next time.